In this video, I'm going to show you how to construct the road bike handlebars. So this is the design here. Because it's symmetrical, I'm going to build it around the plane, center plane, and then I'm going to create half of the bars and then I'll mirror it. So I'm going to start with the top part of the handlebars, and because I want to make sure I control the symmetry, I'm going to build it around the origin. That way I can use my original plane there. So the handlebars are 18 inches across, and that's center line distance. So I'm going to do half, so that's 9 inches. And for this part of the bar, I'm going to make 2-inch, and then I'll put a fillet on that. It's got a 1.5 inch radius. And I'm going to stop there for that sketch. So that's my pathway. Now let me show you what I'm doing. So I started here at the midpoint, drew this straight run, the 1.5 inch radius, and I'm coming out here and I made a 2-inch section there. Now this distance here is actually 3 inches, but I'm going to have to switch planes to create this other part of the handlebar. And you cannot start a new sweep on a curve. So if I were to build this first part all the way up here to the beginning of this bend, I wouldn't be able to sweep this. So I'm going to split this 3 inches up here into a 2-inch piece. I'll sweep that, and then I'll have a 1-inch straight sweep, and then it'll go around the bend. Just follow along. I think it'll make sense. So I'm going to need a plane on the end of there. So go to Features, Reference, Plane, and if you click on the end point and then click on the path, it'll create a work plane, and that's where I'm going to create my next sketch, which is going to be the tubing. So the cross section of the tubing. No, so it's hollow. So you want to make sure you sketch it as such. 1-inch OD, 875 ID. So there's my path, and there's my cross section. Remember, we're not going to extrude it, we're going to go swept boss base. There's 2 selections there. One is the cross section, which the software has already picked that up. It's that profile sketch there. And then next is the path. So click on the path. It'll sweep that. So I've got that part of the tubing. Now I'm going to need another work plane over here because I'm going to have to change direction. So put a plane over here, and again that distance is 9 inches, so I'm going to offset a plane by 9 inches. I'm just going to turn that one off so it doesn't get confusing. I'm going to do a new sketch on this plane too, and it's going to start right at the end point where the other sweep stopped, and also at the center line there. So now I'm going to draw this path so it'll kind of lock onto the center. See that orange square? Let's see, I need to come down, and now I'm going to need the arc of the handlebar. So I'm going to draw a circle and just trim it off. So easy thing to do is just line up that center point with the end point of that. Just draw a circle. Don't worry about the dimensions right now. And then I can come in and dimension it, and if you look at the drawing, you'll see that that's a 8-inch diameter or a 4-inch radius. Now I'll need to trim that off, and what I'll do is just put a line across there, horizontal line, use my trim tool, cut the parts away that I don't need. And then the last part of the handlebar's got a little straight section that sticks up, so make sure that that's vertical. And I'll need to add my dimensions here. This is going to be 1 inch. This part on the end is 2 inches. And then radius, the diameter is called out, so yeah, I shouldn't need to have that on there. I think I'm good on that. So let's finish the sketch so you can see what I did. Again, that's going to be half the bar, comes around the bend. It's got the short straight section and around the curve, and then the other section. So now I'm going to need another sketch. Now you can't just extrude this shape. You have to create a new sketch, which you can either create on the end point here, or you can create it right on the end of that shaft. It doesn't really matter. So I'll just put my sketch right on the face of that. And again, draw the two circles. One which is flip that view around. So drawing my two circles with a 1-inch OD. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. 0.875 ID. And a 1-inch OD. Finish that. So I've got my cross section of the tube, and I have my path. I'll go to features, swept, boss base. Again, the software has figured out what the sketch for is. I just have to click on the path. And that's half my handlebars. So again, the first sweep got me part way up through this straight section. Second sweep got me the rest of the way. And then I'll do a mirror, and the mirror face plane would just be that face right there. And you want to make sure this probably isn't active. You have to choose bodies to mirror. So make sure that's open, and then choose the handlebar, and that'll finish up. Now you've got your completed handlebars.